Okay, we're rolling. Very good morning or evening or afternoon. Hope you've got a nice cuppa. Quick little video today. Lots of things to talk about, a few things to talk about. Used equipment, of course, I'll whiz you around that. Spoke to some people at Kenwood Electronics recently. And don't mention this to anybody, but there is things afoot. Something's happening in the design labs, and considering they have got one of the best RF design engineers in the world working for them, that's exciting news. They don't bring out too many products, Kenwood, but when they do, they're usually benchmark radios like the Kenwood TS890 for, of course, a very, very good seller. Peter Hart raved about this when it first came onto the scene. In fact, I remember ringing Peter, G3SJX, up when he had it, and he was astonished at how they'd leapt up in performance a lot more than previous radios. It's very well built. It's only single receive, which people say, oh, single receiver. In all honesty, how often do you use two receivers? And most serious shacks have got two transceivers at least in their shack anyway, so it's a bit of an irrelevance. But what they have done is concentrated on ultra high performance on one receiver. So we're very pleased to be the sole UK distributor for Kenwood amateur radio products, and things like the big flagship, the TS990, the 890 of course, and the ever popular, I have to say we still keep running out of, the Kenwood TS590 SG. Again, Peter Hart spoke to me about that when he was reviewing it, and that just rewrote the rule books at the time, and that's been out quite a few years now, the latest version of the SG. So they're not tripping over themselves with product range. The TS480, of course, is still a relevant radio. They still sell that, 100 or 200 watts with a remoteable front head. So if you want to use it in the car, that's easy. If you want to use it in the shack, you just put the body out of the way and just have that head unit on top. So if you're stuck for space, the 480 is a very nice machine. Not overcomplicated to use, and a big enough front panel to have some buttons, some direct access buttons. So the 480, 200 watts is 899. No tuner in the 200 watt version, which you do get a tuner in the 100 watt version. So Kenwood, yes, they're still manufacturing, excuse me, one of the more prestigious brands in the world, despite silly rumours on the contrary that are they staying in amateur radio? Well, they've been saying that for about 30 years because they don't bring many products out. And also when Kenwood manufacture and release products, they get it right so well that they stand in production for years. Witness the TS2000. I was just going to point, oh, there is one there. That's been in production for 20 years, and they've only just stopped making it. We have still got a few 2000s in stock. We always have second-hand ones. But what an incredible piece of kit that was when it came out in 2000. So don't believe what you read. It's generally rumour mongering. The Kenwood brand is very, very much here to stay, and I'm certainly looking forward to this new product in God knows how many years it will be, because you always have to wait. Right, second-hand kit. My guys have been busy, I can see, selling it, because we had double, triple stacked when I looked at the video when I was away a few weeks ago. But Jonathan is busy up the end there. In fact, we'll wander up in a moment and say hello to him, booking yet more kit in. It's just come down from the workshop. Lovely pieces of kit like the 450D. Always £450 with us if it's in good condition. I don't know where the guy got this from. It's rather nice, isn't it? A bit trendy, that little cover. But we're throwing that in with it. So 100 watts HF and 6 meters. Again, ideal beginner radio, or even if you want a second radio. The 450 is a no-nonsense approach to HF design. Not complicated. Doesn't boil a cup of tea and God knows what else for you. It's just an easy to use machine. The D specifies only available with internal tuner. They updated the display, and when the owner of Yaesu came to see me in the last shop, I did point out there are a couple of ergonomic improvements that maybe he could incorporate. Well, yes, he did, and that's one thing that Yaesu are fantastic at, is leaving customer feedback, or looking at customer feedback rather, and acting on it. So if you think the manufacturers don't listen, Yaesu really do, and act very, very quickly. Another brilliant manufacturer, the IC703. Everybody, of course, is waiting for the new IC705 that will be released in April. A little 10-watt rig, remote front panel. Not quite sure you'd ever do that, but with a built-in tuner, which is rather nice. These were popular, but could have been a lot more popular if they were lower price when they were first available. Icon always fetch a higher premium. They seem to set their prices quite high, albeit the 7300 and the 9700 totally bucked the trend. But we've got to use one, box booking complete, for £599. Whilst we're talking of Icon 705s, Icon have confirmed that we should see deliveries in April. So for all the many 100+ people that have got deposits down on that radio, you will see it come through in April, May, maybe, hopefully before the end of April. And the retail price has been confirmed at $11.99. They may change it at the end, but unfortunately it's crept up a bit over what it should be, or what they thought it was going to be, or what we all thought it was going to be. But looking at the spec in a little bit more detail, and certainly the display and everything, when you consider that to another brand, it's got an obvious competitor, the 705, you can see why it may command more of a premium. And of course, you've got 2 meters and 4 meters, as well as 6 and all the HF bands on it as well, in a nice, neat little box. Right, FTDX 5000 used, still in production, real battleship bus of a radio, old school manufacturing, over-engineered, proper dual receive, £2,500, including the station monitor. This display didn't set the world alight when Yaesu announced this, but why people forgave it, bar the fact it looked quite nice on top of the radio, is that they've used sound wave tubes inside here, a bit like the Bose developed and designed, invented system really, and they've done the same on top of this speaker box. So when you're sitting in front, the audio out of these 2 speakers is just, sorry, it's 1 speaker feeding 2 tubes, is incredible. So do remember that when you see these sold with an SM5000. Flex Radio 6600. Bought that in a few days ago. Immaculate condition. This is one without the front panel on it. You don't need the front panel because everybody uses a computer. I speak to people who bought the M version, i.e. with the front panel. They say, don't know why we bothered. We never use it because you sit in front of the computer with a decent jog wheel to control it. So £3,500 for that. It's £1,000 plus, I think, saving price, I seem to remember. Another £450 for £450. Still got the FTV 1000. That's been here a couple of weeks now. An ultra rare 6 meter 100-watt transverter for the FT 1000 series, the MP series, in excellent condition. A few little marks there. But that really does match the older series of Yaesu products, and you've got the entire 6 meter band from 50 to 54 megs. And really good if you're looking at contesting or serious SSB and CW operation, think of that. Another Ellicraft, the 2 other K3Ss, the K3 and the KX3 we had both sold. This came in yesterday, and Jonathan has labelled it up. Well done, Jonathan. I just said there's no labels on this. He's been scribbling away. It's £1,500, but I can see that from the front. And it's got 3 filters, the voice recorder, and the TCXO fitted. So at £1,500, that's a hell of a saving over a new K3S, for example, if you wanted to buy one. 897. £449, a big version of the FT857. If you don't quite want the small compact size of the sort of mobile orientated 857 from Yaesu, that's the one to go for. HF and 6 again. ICE 2820 at £299. I'm going to ask the obvious question, has it got the UT126 D-Star board in it? And yes, it has. Next to it, don't see these very often, I haven't seen them for a few months anyway, a used IC7000 with the TFT colour screen. Look at the condition of that. That really is nice, isn't it? That's excellent. Removable front panel if you really want to do that. £699. TS2000X, quite rare. This is one with 23 SEMs fitted at £1,100. ACOM 1010, the 600-700 watt HF linear from ACOM in Bulgaria. FTDX 1200. I mean, we're selling these new at £900. I can't understand why they're so cheap in price, but Yaesu certainly offering those at a very good deal to their distributors, of which we are a direct distributor, the only UK retailer in the country with direct feed from the factory in Japan. But a used one at £699. Again, HF&6, I think Jonathan said last week, it might have been this one or another one. A nice size radio, not little fiddly knobs. What else have we got? TS590 SG. A 1,400 quid discounted. That one's at £899. And let me just pull this out because I saw this earlier. Look at the condition of that. Wow. It's got if you've got one of these stickers on the back, by the way, if you're lucky enough to own a used piece of kit from Martin Lynch and Sons, you obviously realise that increases the resale value massively. Or at least shows that you've got the brains to have bought one from a company that tests them and looks after them and loves you. So that, and always make sure it's got one of those on the back. If it's not, ring us up and I'll find out who forgot to put the sticker on. It's generally done at the workshop anyway, upstairs. Right, another TS2000, 800 quid. We could go on 590s at 800. Another 8970, just under 500. I'm just going to wander you over here because Jonathan is busy. He's not always on our TV channel. He does actually do some work. Look at him beavering away there, see, with his smiley happy. Actually, the smiley happy face guy's behind the camera, aren't you, Gaz? Yeah. Have you had your hair cut yet? Hasn't it? No. You had a few bits trimmed, didn't you? Yeah. Right. Oh, there you go. There's an FT1000 MP. So that transverter I showed you earlier, that's a matching transverter for this series of Yaesu radio. So I don't know how much this is. $799. Oh, $799. No box. What sort of condition it's in? Very nice, I'd say. I remember when these first came out, we were the sponsor of the RSGB, sorry, it was the HF convention in those days. The RSGB hadn't associated themselves with it, shall I say. And these came out, and I had an amazing 2 days at the HF convention in Old Windsor because I had queues of people buying these. They're still a great radio even today. Talking of good radios, just spotted a 756 Pro 3. This isn't even booked in yet, still got the customer details on it. So this, I presume, has been up. Yes, it has been up to the workshop. There's all the information on it there. A few little marks there, just about spot. This hasn't been cleaned yet, so this will be cleaned. And we'll go into our cleaning systems that we use and the methods that we use to clean radios up. But when that's all clean, you won't recognise it. And it'll probably take us about 20 minutes to half an hour to do a reasonable job on that because it does need a deep clean. But 756 Pro 3s, 100 watts HF&6, nice bright display, colour TFT screen again. And when these were a run out several years ago, they were £2,500. I'm not sure how much this one's going to be, but by the time this video is edited and processed, it will be on the web. So if you look under used 756 Pro 3, you'll see that. Other radios at the back there that have just been booked in again, an FT991 from Yaesu, HF6270, all in one small box, and an ICOM ICR 8600 if you're looking for a really good base desktop scanner. And again, those will all be booked in. They've already been checked. Oh, there it is. There it is. That's it. That's the Lady 600. These new are £2,500. With a look at Rod Sherwood's page on RF Performance, you won't believe where this comes. It's almost at the top. I think only slightly overshadowed by the Kenwood TS890 that I mentioned earlier, and of course the new FTDX 101. So that's a used one of those. Don't know the price yet, but that'll be on later. Right, so that's it for this week. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you're having fun at home. Thanks for all the support so far. 30th year this year, so we're going to have a bumper bundle party later in the year. I haven't announced the dates yet, but if you've dealt with me over all the many years since 1978, 77, 78, I've been selling amateur radio to you guys. Originally working at the Emporium in Ealing at Amateur Radio Exchange for Bernie and Brenda, and I'm still flogging it in 2020. Aged massively, but still enjoying it every day. See you soon, and see you next week, where that man there, wave, oh, he did just wave, will be introducing that week's special. That week's special, that's it. See you soon. Ta-ra. Thanks, Kaz, by the way, doing a good job.